Well, so wonderful to be here with all of you, many of whom have been again and again to these convocations, and I believe that some of you are here for the first time. But what a thrill it is to come and greet all of you, to see how Guruji's work has grown through these many years. I was just reading something this evening that he had said one evening to us. Go on serving, thinking only of God. Immerse your consciousness in meditation, in that thought of God, in that love of God. And in that consciousness, perform all your duties. And you will see, as the years go by, that millions will follow this path. It is a thrill to see so many here gradually fulfilling Guruji's prophecy. Let's have a seat, then I can visit with you. What am I doing up here? I always tell myself that I should be much more formal. It's not possible. You please accept me as I am. So many of you are here for the first time, isn't it? Would you raise your hand, you first-timers? Are you going to come again? Good. That makes us so happy. Before I begin, so many of you have written before you came and since you've been here and asked to see me, and I've sent so many loving notes and little remembrances, and I won't try to thank you individually, but let me thank all of you, particularly for your loving thoughts. I very much believe in the power of thought. I very much believe in the tremendous force of love. And when all of you send out that love, and there is a receptive heart, it brings great joy and great healing into the life of that individual. So you have all been healing me by your loving thoughts, your good wishes and your support. And in the same way, I have given to each one of you, though I may not know you by name, I know you by the face, I know you by the expression in your eyes, and I respond in that same way. I remember when I first met Guruji, he was speaking to a large group like this in Salt Lake City. And one evening, I had the good fortune to come close to the front of the hall. And his eyes were so piercing. It was as if he was reading my very soul. I had never had such an experience. And I knew that he knew every thought I was thinking and every feeling that was passing through my soul. And so in the same way, through the years I observed that he keenly looked into the eyes of individuals, of devotees, whenever he met them. There is an exchange when we greet one another with that sincere glance from our eyes, because the eyes are indeed the window to the soul. And when we exchange vibrations or energy or love or kindness or compassion with one another, it is a tremendous benefit, not only to us, but to the one to whom we are looking. And I know you have asked so many times to see me. You've asked so many times for prayers. And I can assure you the second, I never fail to keep. Whenever I have my meditations every night and early morning, for all of you who have asked for prayers, I take that request very, very seriously. And I know that whatever God thinks is for your highest good, for your soul's development, that He will bring to pass in your life. We must realize that all of life's experiences come to help us, never to punish us. Whatever we pass through is something that we have attracted to ourselves. Someone wrote me just a few days ago and said, all of the things that happen to me are the result of someone else's karma. That is not so. You know, we have a tendency to blame others sometimes for the things that happen to us. Nonsense. Whether we receive good or bad, whether we receive kindness or understanding, it is what we have attracted to ourselves. You might say, but why so much hurt? Why so many disappointments? Why so many problems in this life? I've tried to live a good life. I've tried to live an understanding and loving life. But you must realize one thing. This isn't the only life in which we have existed. We have lived through many, many, many lives until we have come to today, and we are today the sum total of all of our other lives. Isn't it nice to know that all the things that are happening to us aren't the result of this life in particular? But we brought with us all of the baggage, good and bad, which we have collected in other existences. You know, it gives us courage when we look at our life in this way. It gives us strength because it makes us realize that God never punishes His children. He loves us, and whatever happens to us is the result of our own behavior. That is why when I see so much that is wrong today, I weep. I really weep. I feel great pain when I see how the young are dragged down by drugs and promiscuity, when I see the waste of human energy, when I see husbands and wives quarreling with one another, not striving to understand one another, when I see all of these things that are happening, it brings great sorrow because it's unnecessary. And eventually, each one who goes in that direction comes to a crossroad where he either goes further down into deeper suffering, or he, through wisdom and prayer, lifts himself out and changes the course of his life. Which is it going to be? It begins with us. No one else is responsible for the way we are except ourselves. These days here in the Bonaventure, you have had an opportunity to learn about Master's teachings. Self-realization, or Yogoda Satsanga, is a science. And Guruji often said to us, yoga, which is a foundation, is a science. It's a science of the soul. It is a science of the soul's relationship with God. And when we recognize the need we have for God, that is the beginning of our march ever onward toward our divine goal. Some people pass through life without ever thinking about God. Others pass through life denying that God exists. There is no such being or no such intelligence as God. And there are some who go to church and they go through all of the rituals and say all of the prayers and all of the affirmations, but the mind is not there. That is a travesty of religion. That is not the way to commune with that great beloved. The way to commune, it has been stated again and again, be still and know that I am God. What does that mean? You've learned in these few days here the meaning of that. It means to pull the mind away from all externals and put that attention upon God alone. Someone has said, but it's very difficult to know God. I have been 50, 60, almost 60 years involved in this search for God, and I can tell you it is not difficult at all. The easiest path in the world is seeking God. The simplest path, the most uncomplicated pursuit in the world is seeking God. It requires no external paraphernalia. It requires no particular place, though it is good to go to some quiet place to commune with God. It requires only one thing, you. It requires your withdrawing from all of the things that trouble you through the day and from all the passions and desires and emotions. And it requires you to sit quietly, as you have learned here, and go within. That is what is meant by be still and know that I am God. When we enter that state of stillness, no words can describe the joy, the peace, and the ever gushing feeling, not emotion, of devotion, of love. The very source of love is God. And when we go to Him in that stillness, we become immersed in that divine consciousness, in that divine love. And that is what we are. We being made in His image, if He is love, then our nature is love. And the greatest need in this world today, and the most ignored emotion in the world today, is true love. In its place, we have sought all kinds of pleasures that have been very damaging to our bodies and to our minds, and above all, to our souls. We have sought all of those things that take us farther and farther away from the one from whence we have come. It is by silence in that inner temple, in that inner life, that we begin to feel what God is. And what is God? I have noticed this again and again in my own analysis after meditation. That is when I do my greatest thinking, because I begin to perceive what I have felt in meditation. What is the experience of God? When we sit quietly, the first experience is a great sense of peace. That peace which surpasseth all understanding, a peace the world cannot give, a peace that nothing can give, because it is such wonderful tranquility, a peace that nothing can take away from us. That is the first glimpse of God's presence. The reason we urge all devotees, all followers of Guruji, to meditate daily is because it's important to bring that kind of peace into our lives. When we begin to become peaceful beings, then it is possible for us to give up so many things that we think we need. All of these pleasures which do so much harm to us physically and mentally and spiritually. So the first proof is peace. Then after that, what comes? We begin to get little glimpses of Him, of His presence. When we least expect, some blessing will come into our lives, or some good thing will help us to realize, oh, this is God's touch. This is God's blessing. Something will happen in our lives that will convince us that He is with us, that He is aware of us, that He knows we exist. Do you ever wonder, am I sure that God knows I'm here? I think sometimes we think, I'm not sure. I think I fell through the cracks, so to speak, huh? He knows, He knows. Even the fall of a sparrow, He knows. So let's come back to the story, the experience. So after we get some glimpses of that, every now and then we feel such joy. We think, what is this joy? Where is it coming from? I don't find anything externally that's giving me this happiness, but I find that I am ever happy. And as we begin to feel that way, we begin to feel greater compassion for people. We want to do for others. We're not so much interested in ourselves. We want to forget ourselves. We find that our consciousness is expanding. We want to help others. But first must come the meditation. First must come the contact. Many religions become involved in only help. I don't demean that. It is very important. Of what value is a saint if he isn't helping others? Of what value are we if we are not thinking of those who have less? Yes, our duty is to serve, to give. But first we must have something to give. And that means, again, we come back to us, the individual. Meditation every day. And after that, then comes the other experiences. But after feeling a little bit of joy and compassion and all of those qualities which we know are divine, then we begin to feel an ever-growing love, an ever-growing interest in the saints, an ever-growing interest in God, wanting to know more about God, wanting to draw closer to God. And then comes the ecstasy as we make greater effort by sitting in silence, in deep meditation. It doesn't take a great deal of time. It isn't complicated. We take time to eat, and if we went out without a day's meals, we go to pieces. We think we can't exist without food. We think if we don't get enough sleep, we go around grouchy and complaining for days, don't we? So we feel we've got to have our sleep, we've got to have our food, and there are other things that each one of us think we've got to have in order to be happy. We don't got to have any of those as much as we've got to have God in our lives. You've got to reason that way. You've got to make up your mind, He is necessary to me. I wasn't put here merely to eat, sleep, be merry, so to speak, and then be dumped into the grave. I was put here for a reason. That reason was to give me an opportunity to grow in wisdom, to grow in understanding, to grow in peace, to grow in love, that I might know that I am made in His image and that He is my Father. I am His child. You will say, yes, that's easy for you, Daya Mata, because you spent your life in this. It is for everyone. God never said all of you must forsake the world, run off into the forest to seek me. He put each one of us here in this world. We must think, O Lord, where I am, there thou must come. It is for us to bring Him into our lives. But we cannot do that if we use countermeasures to drive Him away. How do we drive Him away? If we're full of anger, if we're impatient, if we're jealous, if we're full of hatred, all of these qualities are not of God. Therefore, we must strive to keep overcoming those. We must strive to conquer those and allow just His love and His presence and His thought to flow into our consciousness. And when we do that, then we can truly say, I know that He is with me. He is my love. He is my Father. He is my mother. He is my friend. He is my only beloved. And because He is my beloved, I love my loved ones. I am closer to my wife. I am closer to my husband. I am closer to my children. I am closer to all those whom God has brought into my immediate family because God brought us together. And my duty, my privilege is to serve them, not think of myself, but to serve them. And as I go on serving and growing in understanding, then my desire, what can I do for the world? How can I help others? There's so much need in this world. We all should feel that way. Each one in little ways should think of others. How can we do for others? Always we can find someone who needs something. And we can think, oh, I am so blessed because God has given me so much. How can I share with others? That's what a real lover of God does. He thinks in terms of not himself. He thinks for himself, oh Lord, when this I shall die, then will I know who am I. And he is constantly thinking, how can I do away with this I? I. That's so important. When I am full of I, there's no place for God. I want to be freer from me, that the divine might flow, so that I might say, oh Lord, thou art in me. Thou art mine. You know, the search for God is so easy to accomplish, but we make it complicated because we think it is difficult. Years ago, when there were many, many responsibilities resting on these shoulders, I came to one decision. How can I simplify life? Well, it appeared to me that one way to do it is to reduce life to its common denominator. What does that mean? The common denominator of all mankind is one, God. And from that level of consciousness, to go about my duties, to keep everything simple in life, to perform those duties that draw me closer to Him, to have a regular time for meditation, morning and evening, even if it's only for 10 minutes. Make those 10 minutes count. But I do urge that there be longer periods whenever possible. In the ashrams, as you know, Guruji urged us, if possible, to have a longer period of meditation, and that we do. Every Thursday evening, I believe it is, or Wednesday evening, the monks meditate in their chapel, the nuns meditate in their chapel. And if any of you would like to join us, we invite you. We love to have you. Now, I mean in your homes, don't come to us. Well, we'd love to have you all, but not enough space. So in your homes, just sit quietly somewhere where you can be alone, or even sit out of doors. If you have a little backyard or somewhere, you can sit quietly and just think, I am meditating with them. And feel that we are all meditating together, earnestly seeking God. Christ has said, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I. That was the reason for which Master began many years ago these little meditation groups all over the world. And God doesn't come where there is noise. He comes where there is quiet. He comes where he can be heard, where his footsteps can be perceived, can be felt, can be heard. And so he encouraged these small temples, these small meditation groups. And so if you gather together like that, either alone or with your family, and quietly sit and meditate, you can't imagine what great peace, what happiness you will feel. You will begin to think, oh, I'm making progress. I'm doing some of the things to help myself. I am drawing closer to my God. I know he is with me because he is with me. It's when we get too much immersed in worldliness that we feel a great separation from him. And when that separation is felt, we feel a great loneliness, a great sadness, a great sense of uneasiness, a deep sense of restlessness, a deep sense of defeat and negativism, a deep sense of despair. When we draw closer to that divine light, we become filled with his strength, filled with his inspiration, above all, filled with his joy, filled with his love, filled with his understanding. And that's the goal of life, that we might know that we are God's and that the Spirit of God dwells in every one of us without exception. We have only to open wide the doors of our heart and let him in. The first chant that I ever learned before I ever came to the ashram, it brought me the answer that I craved. I think I have said this to some of you years ago. I wanted so desperately to give my life to God. I didn't want the world. It didn't hold anything that interested me. And then I heard Guruji, and as I saw him off in the distance, I knew that he knew God. And at that moment, whether I ever entered the ashram or not, I knew that I had taken my vows. I would never remain in the world. That had to have come, of course, from other lives. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been so. But why not begin now? You might say, well, you were fortunate. We all have to begin sometime. Why not now? I had to begin earlier, evidently, in other lives. But the point is, when it was apparent that family would obstruct my coming, and my family was very, very much opposed, and Guruji sung a song one night in the class, and I love it so much. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Wilt thou come, oh wilt thou come? Just for once come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, I look for you, only you, my Lord. And he said, you know, if you sing that song deeply, with all the craving and the urgency of your heart, God shall respond. And I believed it. I believed what he said. So I secretly remembered that. And when I got home that night, after everyone had gone to bed, I got up, went into the other room, and I mentally chanted and I chanted and I chanted, and I was determined. I felt that I will not leave this meditation until some response comes from you, Lord. And the Lord must have decided that it was time to respond. Suddenly, after perhaps an hour or 2 hours of deep meditation and crying, a great sense of that peace came over me, that first proof of God's presence. I couldn't cry anymore. There was a great sense of well-being, a sense of, well, I have asked, Lord, you have responded by this peace that I feel. Now I must let go. And you know, it was a miracle, but within 2 weeks, all doors were opened. and I came to Mount Washington to spend the rest of my life. That gives you an example of how God does respond if we really mean business with Him, if we really care. Let our search for God not be haphazard. As I have said, self-realization is a science of the soul. And that science is technique which you have all received. The key is now with you. It is up to you to use it or set it aside on the shelf. It is also a science of love. Meditation plus love. Meditation plus right activity. These are the three principles that are important in knowing God. Meditation, love, and right activity. Performing all those duties that take us Godward, using our discrimination to say, this I follow, this I avoid, this I do, that I avoid, this I say, this I withhold. You understand? In that way, we gradually change our lives. And so, dear ones, we have given you that way during these 5 or 6 days. You have received today, many of you, the Kriya. Practice it faithfully, and you will find the great results that it promises. And remember, too, that the Guru does play an important part in our lives. If anyone wants to be a doctor, he doesn't get it out of reading a book. If he wants to be a scientist, he doesn't get it out of reading a book. He needs a guide. He needs someone who's had the experience, who's walked the way. If you want to do open heart surgery, for instance, you don't just read a book and say, let's see, I cut here and I do that. What does the book say next? You've got to have training. You've got to have experience under someone. And that's what the Guru is. He is a teacher who has walked the way and is able to guide the devotee, whoever will try to be in tune with him. As he said to some of us, whoever thinks me near, I will always be near. I know that to be a fact. I have experienced it. And it isn't just Daya Mata. If you believe it, it shall be so. Because while it may seem to many of us that that is a distant world where those we love have gone, it is not so. That distant world is right here. We see with these physical eyes. And because we do not have that spiritual eye of understanding, of intuition, that all-seeing eye, we do not see what is passing through this very atmosphere at this moment. But those who have gone on to higher and higher realms, such as Paramahansa Ji, they are able to respond. There is no such thing as cut off from those we love. We will meet them again, and we will know them again, and we will love them again, and we will pick up the threads of our lives again, if that is a desire that burns in the heart. The Guru is merely the representative of God. He is not and does not claim I am God. I am the representative. All great teachers say that. I am but the humble instrument. But if you follow, I shall lead you to the feet of the divine. So keep that thought of Gurudev in your minds, my dear ones. And I want to read you something that is very beautiful, that refers to the Guru. You may come to him for a few seconds, then go away and do whatever you will. His love is unchanging. You may deny him to himself and to yourself, and then curse him to any who will listen. His love is unchanging. You may become the most despised of creatures, then return to him. His love is unchanging. You may become the enemy of God himself and then return to him, but his love is unchanging. Go where you will, and do what you will, stay however long you will, and come back to Him. His love is unchanging. Abuse others, abuse yourself, abuse Him, and then come back to Him. His love is unchanging. He will never criticize you. He will never minimize you. He will never desert you, because to Him you are everything, and He Himself is nothing. He will never deceive you. He will never ridicule you. He will never fail you, because to Him you are God nature to be served, and He is your servant. No matter what befalls, no matter what you become, He awaits you always. He knows you. He serves you. He loves you. His love for you in the changing world is unchanging. His love, my beloved, is unchanging. And so it is. This is the relationship that we who seek have with God. We know that there is no mistake we can make, no sin that we could ever commit, no error. Guruji didn't like the word sin, and I agree with him. No error that we could ever make that can turn God away from us. He is always there. We have only to look within, and we find Him silently blessing us, silently caressing our souls with His peace, with glimpses of His love, with His joy, with His compassion. Let us meditate, will you? Let us meditate together. Forget everyone around you. Just think at this moment, oh Lord, just behind my thoughts, You are present. Just behind my throbbing heart, You are present. Just behind this darkness of my closed eyes, oh Lord, You are right here. Bless me, guide me, fill my life with an ever deepening longing for You, and change me that I might love You more deeply, remember You constantly in the midst of all my activities, and in remembering You, love my loved ones. Bless me, O Lord. Let us all pray together. Heavenly Father, Mother, friend, my beloved God, Jesus Christ, Bhagavan Krishna, Mahavatar Babaji, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, beloved Gurudev, Paramahansa Yogananda, and saints of all religions, I bow to you all. O Lord, bless my life, that no matter where I go, and no matter what I do in this world, may the spotlight of my mind ever keep turning toward Thee. Thou art the light of my life. Thou art the love supreme, from whence all love flows. Thou art that which is mine. Thou art my love. Thou art my love. Thou art my God. Bless me, O Lord. I bow to thee. Shanti. Peace to my soul. Peace to my family. Peace to my community. Peace to my nation. And peace to my world. Bless all, O Lord. Bring thy light, thy love, thy compassion into the lives of all thy children throughout the world. And bless me, O Lord, that I may become a humble instrument spreading thy peace, thy goodwill, thy love, not only through my words, but above all, through my actions. Thou art my life. I bow to thee. May God bless us all. Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Sometimes his love becomes so overwhelming, I don't like others to see. God bless you all. I only want you to have a taste of that love. And once it possesses your heart, you will never turn away from him. You will use your lives in a way that will be a credit to him and to yourselves. Let me look at your faces, all of you. God bless all of you. God bless. God bless. I feel your love when you know you have all of mine. I receive letters from so many of you, and I take all those letters seriously because I know the hungers of the heart. I know the feelings that pass through the heart. And what I want for each of you is that you feel and perceive such joy, such love, such devotion for God that it will truly transform your lives. And you will go away tomorrow from this gathering changed. You will never be the same because God has touched your lives. God bless you, my dears. We see you next year. Huh? God bless. I love all of you. My love to all of you. I could take you all in my heart.